The year is 1896. America stands at the edge of a new century. Photography is no longer a novelty, but it remains a careful art. Glass plates must be handled with precision. Light must be measured. Time must be held still. In this era, the funeral portrait is not considered morbid. It is considered necessary. For many families, it will be the only photograph they ever possess of a loved one. It is their final chance to preserve a face, a memory, a moment before the earth claims what remains. In a quiet town in New England, one such portrait was commissioned. The family gathered in their parlor. The photographer arrived with his equipment. The exposure was made. The plate was developed. But when the image emerged from the chemical bath, it contained something impossible. In the background, captured in the reflection of a mirror, a face appeared. This face did not belong to anyone present in the room. This face should not exist. This is the story of that photograph and the shocking truth it revealed. How does a camera from 1896 capture something that was not there? Was it a trick, a hoax, a flaw in the glass? Or was the explanation something far more human and far more disturbing? The answer would shatter a family and expose a secret that was meant to remain hidden forever. The Finch family home stands tall on a tree-lined avenue. It is a house of dark wood and heavy curtains. The walls are paneled in oak. The floors are covered in thick rugs. The air inside is cold and still. It is late autumn. The leaves outside have turned brown and fallen. The sky is gray and low. A thin mist hangs in the streets. Inside, the atmosphere is even heavier. Nicholas Finch has died. He was the patriarch of the family. He was a man of industry and influence. He owned mills. He owned land. He owned the respect and fear of everyone in town. He was stern. He was unyielding. He was feared more than loved. His body now lies in an open casket in the main parlor. The funeral has concluded. The church service was attended by hundreds. Business partners came. Politicians came. Competitors came to pay their respects. But now they have all left. Only the immediate family remains. Emmett Finch, the widow, sits in silence near the casket. She is a woman of strict religious faith. She has always followed the rules of society without question. She wears black from head to toe. Her face is pale and drawn. Her hands are folded in her lap. She has not eaten since her husband died. She has barely spoken. Beside her stands Milo Finch, the eldest son. He is now the head of the family. He is now responsible for the business, the estate, the legacy. He does not want this burden, but he accepts it. Milo is a practical man. He believes in logic. He believes in progress. He believes in machines and railroads and the future. He does not believe in superstition. Milo makes a decision. He will commission a post-mortem portrait. This is common practice in 1896. It is a way to remember. It is a way to honor. It is a way to possess something permanent in a world where death takes everything. He sends word to Harrison Croft, a local photographer. Harrison is known for his skill. He does not manipulate his images. He does not create elaborate scenes or fantastical backgrounds. He simply captures what is in front of his lens. He is a man of reputation and integrity. His work hangs in the homes of the wealthy. His portraits are clear and honest. He is exactly the kind of man Milo trusts. Giovanni Reed, the town archivist, later explains the importance of such photographs. In 1896, most families do not own cameras. A photograph is expensive. A photograph is rare. For many, the only time they sit for a portrait is at a wedding or a funeral. Post-mortem photography is not seen as strange. It is seen as a final gift. It is a way to say goodbye. It is a way to hold on to something that will otherwise be lost forever. Children are photographed in their cribs. Mothers are photographed in their beds. Fathers are photographed in their chairs. The dead are posed with the living. The living hold the hands of the dead. This is not horror. This is love. This is memory made solid. Harrison Croft arrives at the Finch home the following morning. He carries his equipment carefully up the front steps. A large format view camera, a heavy wooden tripod, a leather case of fragile glass plate negatives. Each plate is coated with a light-sensitive emulsion. Each plate must be handled with care. One crack, one fingerprint, one moment of carelessness, and the plate is ruined. Harrison enters the parlor. He surveys the room with a professional eye. The casket is positioned in the center of the room. The body of Nicholas Finch lies inside, dressed in his finest suit. His hands are folded over his chest. His face is composed. The undertaker has done his work well. The parlor is dark. The curtains are drawn against the morning light. A single oil lamp burns on a side table. The flame is steady. The shadows are deep. On the far wall, opposite the casket, hangs a large mirror. The frame is gilded and ornate. The glass is old, but clear. It is a family heirloom, brought over from England decades ago. The mirror reflects the room. It reflects the casket. It reflects the window on the opposite wall. It reflects the lamp. It reflects everything. Harrison begins his work. He sets up his tripod near the doorway. He mounts the camera on top. He adjusts the height. He adjusts the angle. He peers through the viewfinder. He sees the casket. He sees the mirror behind it. He sees the reflection within the reflection. He is satisfied. He asks Emmett and Milo to position themselves near the casket. They stand in attitudes of formal grief. Emmett looks down at her husband's face. Milo stares straight ahead at nothing. The room is silent except for the ticking of a clock on the mantel. In 1896, photography is not instant. Giovanni Reed explains the process in detail. The camera lens must remain open for several minutes. The subjects must remain perfectly still. Any movement will blur the image. Any shift, any breath, any tremor will ruin the photograph. The light in the room is dim, so the exposure time is even longer. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, perhaps 5. The camera drinks in every photon. It captures every detail. The lens is wide open. It sees not just the family in the casket, but the entire room. It sees the mirror on the wall. It sees the reflection in that mirror. It sees the window behind them. It sees the curtains. It sees the shadows in the corners. It sees everything. Harrison removes the lens cap. The exposure begins. Time slows. The room holds its breath. Emmett does not move. Her chest barely rises and falls. Milo does not blink. His jaw is set. His hands are clenched at his sides. The lamp flickers once, but the flame steadies. Outside, the wind moves through the trees. A branch scrapes against the window. Inside, nothing stirs. The clock ticks. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. The camera stares into the room like an unblinking eye. It drinks in the light. It drinks in the scene. It drinks in the grief. Finally, Harrison replaces the lens cap. The exposure is complete. He carefully removes the glass plate from the back of the camera. He slides it into a light-proof case. He closes the case with a soft click. He thanks the family. He offers his condolences. He leaves. Harrison returns to his studio on Main Street. The darkroom is his sanctuary. It is a small, windowless room in the back of the building. The only light comes from a red safe light, dim and ghostly. The walls are lined with shelves, bottles of chemicals, trays of developer, trays of fixer. Everything has its place. Everything is precise. He prepares the chemical baths. Developer, stop bath, fixer. Each solution must be at the correct temperature. Each step must be timed precisely. Too long in the developer and the image will be too dark. Too short and it will be too light. He slides the glass plate into the developer tray. Slowly, the image begins to appear. First, dark shapes emerge from the fog of the emulsion. Then, details: the family, the casket, the paneling on the walls, the mirror. Harrison watches the image emerge. This is the moment he loves, the moment when light becomes memory, the moment when the past is captured and held. But then he stops. Something is wrong. He leans closer, his eyes narrow. He lifts the plate from the bath. Chemicals drip onto the floor. He does not notice. He holds the plate up to the red light. There, in the background, in the reflection of the mirror, is a face. It is faint, but it is unmistakable. It is the face of a man. The man is staring toward the casket. His expression is intense. His eyes are wide. Harrison blinks. He looks again. The face is still there. He examines the plate carefully. He looks for cracks in the glass. He looks for chemical stains. He looks for scratches. He looks for any flaw that might explain the anomaly. There is nothing. The plate is clean. The image is sharp. The face is real. It is part of the photograph. It is not a mistake. It is not a defect. It is there. Harrison is a professional. He has been a photographer for 20 years. He does not believe in ghosts. He does not believe in spirits. He does not believe in tricks of light. But he cannot explain what he sees. He finishes the development process. He moves the plate to the stop bath, then to the fixer. Then he rinses it in clean water. He hangs it to dry. He waits. When the plate is dry, he makes a print. He places the negative in the enlarger. He exposes a sheet of photographic paper. He develops the paper. The face remains. It is clearer now. It is a man in his 40s. His hair is dark. His face is gaunt. His expression is intense. His eyes are fixed on the casket. Harrison does not know what to do. He cannot deliver this print without explanation. He cannot simply hand this photograph to a grieving family and walk away. He arranges a private meeting with Milo Finch. The next evening, Harrison returns to the Finch home. He carries the finished portrait in a wooden frame. The glass over the photograph gleams in the lamplight. Milo greets him in the parlor. The casket is gone now. Nicholas Finch has been buried, but the room still feels heavy, still feels cold. Harrison places the frame on the table. Milo looks at the photograph. He sees himself standing beside the casket. He sees his mother beside him. He sees his father's body. He nods slowly. It is a fine portrait. The composition is good. The focus is sharp. It is exactly what he wanted. But Harrison does not leave. He stands beside the table. His hands are shaking. He points to the background of the photograph. He points to the mirror. He asks a simple question. Who is this? Milo leans closer. At first, he sees nothing unusual. He sees the reflection of the room. He sees the window. He sees the curtains. Then his eyes focus. He sees the faint face. He frowns. He assumes it is a blur, a trick of reflection, a smudge on the glass. He wipes the surface of the frame with his hand. The face remains. He looks at Harrison. Harrison insists it is not a flaw. It is in the photograph. It is part of the image. Milo calls for his mother. Emmett enters the room slowly. She is still dressed in black. Her face is still pale. She looks at the photograph. Her reaction is immediate. She gasps. The sound is sharp and sudden. The print slips from her hands. It falls to the floor. The glass in the frame cracks. Emmett staggers backward. Her hand goes to her mouth. Her face goes white. She recognizes the face. She knows who it is. The man in the photograph is June Finch. He is Nicholas Finch's younger brother. He is the black sheep of the family. Years ago, there was a fight. A terrible fight. June wanted to sell part of the family business. Nicholas refused. June accused Nicholas of greed. Nicholas accused June of weakness. The fight became a war. Words were said that could never be taken back. Nicholas disowned his brother. He forbade anyone in the family from speaking to him. He forbade anyone from even saying his name. June left for California. That was 15 years ago. The family assumed he was destitute. They assumed he was broken. They assumed he was gone forever. But here he is. His face is in the photograph. His face is staring at the casket of the brother who cast him out. Emmett is hysterical. She believes it is his ghost. She believes he has died and returned as a spirit. She believes his angry soul has come to witness the death of the brother who destroyed him. She begins to weep. She begins to pray. She calls for the servants. She demands they bring a priest. She refuses to stay in the parlor. She refuses to look at the photograph. Milo is stunned. He does not believe in ghosts, but he cannot explain the image. He picks up the frame from the floor. The cracked glass distorts the photograph, but the face is still there, still staring. The house erupts into chaos. The servants whisper in the kitchen. The cook refuses to enter the parlor. The maids refuse to clean the mirror. The neighbors begin to talk. The story spreads through the town like wildfire. A spirit photograph. A haunting. A supernatural visitation. A ghost at a funeral. Harrison Croft is accused of fraud. People say he has created a hoax. They say he has used a trick. They say he has exploited a grieving family for attention or money. Spirit photography is common in 1896. Charlatans use double exposures. They use projections. They use painted glass. They create fake ghosts for desperate families who want to believe their loved ones are still present. Harrison defends himself. He insists the image is genuine. He insists he has done nothing wrong. He opens his studio to inspection. He shows his equipment. He shows his plates. He shows his process. But the damage is done. His reputation is in question. His business suffers. Families cancel their appointments. No one wants a photographer who captures ghosts. Milo refuses to accept the supernatural explanation. He is a man of science. He is a man of reason. He believes in evidence. He believes in facts. He decides to find the truth. He hires Sloan Thorne, a private investigator from Boston. Sloan is known for his discretion. He is known for his skepticism. He has solved cases of fraud. He has exposed fake mediums. He has uncovered lies. He does not believe in ghosts. He does not believe in hoaxes unless there is proof. He believes in evidence. His task is simple. Find out what happened. Find out how the face appeared in the photograph. Find out the truth. Sloan arrives in town 3 days later. He is a tall man with sharp eyes. He carries a leather notebook. He carries a pencil. He takes notes on everything. His first stop is Harrison Croft's studio. He examines the equipment piece by piece. He examines the camera. He examines the lenses. He examines the tripod. He examines the darkroom. He looks for signs of trickery. He looks for double exposure plates. He looks for hidden compartments. He looks for lanterns or projectors or anything that could create a false image. He finds nothing. Harrison's studio is clean. His plates are unmarked. His chemicals are standard. His equipment is ordinary. There is no evidence of fraud. There is no evidence of manipulation. Sloan interviews Harrison for 3 hours. The photographer is exhausted. He is terrified. His hands shake as he speaks. But his story does not change. He took the photograph. He developed the plate. The face appeared. He did nothing to cause it. He did nothing to create it. Sloan concludes that Harrison is telling the truth. The photograph is genuine. The face is real. It is part of the image. This changes everything. If the photograph is not a fake, then what is it? Sloan stops investigating the how. He starts investigating the who. He begins a search for June Finch. If the face in the photograph is June Finch, then where is he? Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he in town? Is he far away? Sloan sends telegrams to California. He contacts the authorities in San Francisco. He contacts private detectives on the West Coast. The response arrives within 3 days. June Finch left San Francisco 3 weeks ago. He closed his bank account. He sold his few possessions. He told no one where he was going. He left no forwarding address. He simply disappeared. Sloan shifts his focus. If June Finch left California 3 weeks ago, then where did he go? Did he come home? Did he come back to the town that cast him out? Sloan begins searching locally. He visits boarding houses. He visits inns. He visits hotels. He shows a description of June Finch to every proprietor. Dark hair, gaunt face, middle-aged, quiet. Most proprietors remember nothing, but one does. Emerson Gable runs a modest inn on the edge of town. It is a small building with 6 rooms. It caters to travelers passing through. Emerson remembers a man who checked in 2 days before Nicholas Finch's funeral. He used the name John Smith. He paid in cash. He kept to himself. He did not come down for meals. He did not speak to the other guests. He left early in the morning the day after the funeral. He left no forwarding address. Emerson describes the man in detail. Dark hair, gaunt face, tired eyes. The description matches June Finch perfectly. Sloan continues his investigation. He canvasses the street near the Finch home. He speaks to neighbors. He speaks to delivery men. He speaks to shopkeepers. He speaks to anyone who might have seen something unusual on the day of the funeral. Most people remember nothing. The funeral was large. The street was crowded. There were carriages. There were horses. There were hundreds of people. But finally, Sloan finds a witness. Elsie is a paper boy. She is 12 years old. She delivers newspapers every morning to the houses on the avenue. On the day of Nicholas Finch's funeral, she saw a man standing across the street from the Finch home. The man stood under a tree. He stood there for hours. He did not move. He did not speak. He simply watched the house. Elsie thought it was strange. She thought maybe he was waiting for someone, but he never went inside. He never approached. He simply stood and watched. Elsie describes the man. Dark coat. Dark hat. Gaunt face. Tired eyes. The description matches June Finch. Sloan returns to the Finch home. He asks to see the parlor. He asks to see the photograph again. Milo brings him the frame. The glass is still cracked. Sloan studies the image carefully. He stands in the room where the photograph was taken. He looks at the position where the casket once stood. He looks at the mirror on the wall. He looks at the window opposite the mirror. He studies the photograph again. He studies the reflection in the background. He studies the angle of the light. He walks to the window. He looks outside. He looks at the tree across the street, the tree where Elsie saw the man standing. And then he understands. Sloan reconstructs the scene in his mind. The camera was positioned here. The casket was positioned there. The family stood beside the casket. The mirror was on the wall behind them. The window was opposite the mirror. During the long exposure, the camera captured the dim interior of the parlor, but it also captured something else. The window. The glass of the window. And reflected faintly in that glass was the image of a man standing outside. June Finch was not inside the room. He was outside. He was standing across the street under the tree. He was staring through the window at his brother's casket. The camera's sensitive plate captured both images at once. The dark interior of the parlor. The bright reflection in the window glass. The two images superimposed naturally. It was an accidental double exposure, created not by the photographer, but by the physics of light itself. The face is not in the mirror. The face is in the window. The angle only makes it appear to be part of the mirror's reflection. Sloan presents his findings to Milo and Emmett the next day. He explains the science. He explains the angle of the light. He explains the reflection in the window. He explains how the long exposure allowed the camera to capture both the interior and the exterior at the same time. He explains that this is not supernatural. It is natural. It is physics. It is optics. The family is silent. Emmett sits down slowly. Her hands are trembling. The ghost is not a ghost. The haunting is not a haunting. June Finch was alive. He came back. He stood outside in the cold and watched the funeral of the brother who had disowned him. He did not enter. He did not speak. He did not make his presence known. He simply watched, and the camera captured him. The photograph, intended as a final farewell, became an accidental confession. It revealed a secret. It revealed a presence. It revealed a grief that was hidden, but never gone. The mystery of the photograph is solved, but the mystery of the family is just beginning. Milo and Emmett must now decide what to do. Do they search for June? Do they reach out? Do they forgive? Or do they let him disappear again into the unknown? The photograph offers no answers. It only asks questions. Questions about family. Questions about forgiveness. Questions about the things we hide and the things we cannot escape. Milo hires Sloane to continue the search. But June Finch is gone. He has vanished. The trail goes cold. He is never found. The 1896 funeral portrait was meant to capture a moment of mourning. Instead, it captured a moment of truth. It reminds us that old photographs are not just images. They are witnesses. They are records. They capture more than we intend. They reveal more than we know. They hold secrets in their shadows. The Finch family keeps the photograph. They repair the cracked glass. They hang it in the hallway. Every day they pass it. Every day they see the face in the window. Every day they are reminded of the brother who came back, but never came home. What hidden stories lie waiting in your own family albums? What faces linger in the reflections? What truths are waiting to be uncovered? The past is never as silent as we think.